Let me ask you to predict some things. I was really impressed with the way Cain Velasquez looked when he fights Stipe Miocic. What do you think?
Yeah, that's
Where's
interesting.
your money?
Cain is the most intimidating guy on the roster, period. And a lot of it's because his name's Cain. He looks scared as hell. But the fact that he doesn't get tired, he comes forward, he throws. He's just an intimidating guy. Stipe is an exceptional athlete. He's a good-looking heavyweight, right? He's the right size, the right build. He moves really well. He boxes. Stipe's going to have problems with Overeem.
He has to get through Overeem, which is
he's going to have problems with Overeem.
He fights Overeem next.
Yeah, I know that.
So for the world title,
I guess
that's a huge. I don't know if he gets through, and for whatever reason, and Stipe is a good buddy, training partner of mine for a long time, but. The Overeem's a tough fight for him.
I guess I'm not taking that into account.
You definitely need to.
Yeah.
He might be the underdog in that fight.
He could be.
Yeah.
Here's an intangible I'll throw at you.
I love doing this to Brendan.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he's like, excuse me?
I'll throw you an intangible, though, and I picked Stipe in his last fight. He's a big underdog against Verdum. He's fighting in Verdum's hometown. If you're a betting man, you got to look at outside things. Stipe does his best work on the road.
Yeah.
His best performances have been when he's traveling and he's dealing with the jet lag and no pressure and everybody hates him for whatever reason.
Baseball life.
Statistically, that's true, though. He's fighting Overeem in Cleveland. I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
I'd rather fight him in the Netherlands.
That's right. Go anywhere else. But not 5 miles from his living room.
I agree.
And that matters. As silly as it sounds, it matters.
And I'm sorry to ask a dumb question because I know what your answer is going to be. You're saying that Overeem, I know he's a K1 champ and everything, you're saying he's a better striker? And if so, what does that mean? Because I'm so impressed with Stipe's boxing. Yeah. And I feel like this is just my layman's perspective. Every time Overeem tries to throw any kind of a kick, he's going to get cracked in the grill.
He hasn't been kicking a lot. I mean, he's on a crazy win streak, man. He's beat some really tough guys. So
yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Some of them surprisingly, because you never know with Overeem, and again, if you're a stud,
especially with USADA.
Yeah, that's right, with USADA,
which is weird because he's using his technique now.
That's right. And then you look at the first round. He's a real first round guy, good, bad, or indifferent. He usually stays within that first frame. His last fight, he stumbled into the second round, got a knockout there. It's just interesting, Overeem's real up and down, and right now he's up. And frankly, with USADA in there, it made Overeem a little bit smaller, but it made him a little bit quicker. It almost helped him for that first round fight.
It helped him not to be a meathead because technically he's the best striker in the UFC. You look at the credentials, best striker in the UFC. He was such a meathead. Like when he fought Brock Lesnar, he could have won Mr. Olympia. Sure. Like he was just so big. There wasn't a lot of technique. Well, now he's a lot thinner. He knows he has the skills. He uses the skills. He's more, light-footed. It's good, man. Yeah. He's trouble.
I was really impressed with the way Aldo looked. I can't wait for that.
This is what's weird for me, Chael. I took so much shit because I went, well, now that USADA's here, when I can see many Brazilian champs, and before UFC 200, there was none.
Sure.
They all lost.
Yeah.
I took so much shit for that. People were so upset. I was fucking right.
Yeah, you were right.
I was right.
And one gym specifically.
Yes.
Jose's gym and Hindenburg. Yeah, that gym.
They held a press conference talking shit about me.
Right.
How weird is that?
Yeah, but I mean, that gym specifically has lost their fights, their champs, their time. I mean, yeah.
You can just see the difference in people's bodies now. You really can. And I'm not going to mention names, but I even texted you about this yesterday.
Yeah.
You see guys and you go, your body just looks different. Now, the one guy who didn't look different, the one guy who looked even more muscular and looked fantastic was Jose Aldo. Like he looked, and I'm not saying
he looked more muscular.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He looked incredibly muscular. I'm not saying that he's doing anything, but he was always a very muscular guy. But
that'd be the gym he's talking about.
I know it is.
Yeah, that's
I'm aware of that.
Interesting.
I'm aware of that.
I got a question just to switch it, Chael. If you're Conor McGregor's manager, you let him with the rematch. Obviously, he wanted it. You let him fight Nate Diaz at 170 again.
Yeah, boy, is that interesting. Yeah, you do, just because of the no lose situation. I mean, we saw he already lost this fight. This exact fight, same guy, same weight class in the same city, same amount of same everything. He already lost. Boom, it's about to be the biggest card of the year. So apparently this isn't making a dent in him. What the hell's the difference?
There's a Muhammad Ali.
But if he loses this one twice, it's a tough sell.
It's a tough
because then that shit talking goes out the window.
And it has for this one. He's not saying that much about Nate. He's still trying to deliver what the fans want, but it's harder. It's genuinely harder on him because he used to believe it.
Yeah, but I think we love him. I think we love him for the same reason that we loved Ali when he fought Foreman. Like yes, the guy's bigger, the guy's stronger, all this talk, and you've got to admire the guy's courage. The guy he really does put it on the line. So for me, he's going to 170 again. He's fighting Nate Diaz, who's just so much bigger and a really good boxer. Blah blah blah. And he's got the courage to say, "I want it again. I'm going to step in."
I get that, B. You're talking as a fighter. If you're his manager,
yeah. I'm talking as a fan.
If he loses again,
he goes to 45. And
they're saying 45 is a tough cut for him.
Yeah,
his own team was like, I don't know if he can make 45.
Yeah, but he will. But he'll have to. He's not taking on Eddie or going through the ringer at 155. And I don't think it would be offered to him. Coming off of 2 losses, I don't think you stay the #1 contender at 155. So he's got a belt there. You know, the numbers they're paying him, his guarantee alone. He's going to end up at 45.
Do you think he cannot? He'd have his hands full. Do you think he'd get beat by Eddie Alvarez or Dos Anjos?
I think so. I was very confident he would get beat by Jose. Yeah, I really was. Conor's really good. Even on the Nate Diaz fight, we can talk about he lost and all that stuff. He dominated that fight for a while, and it was a Volvo against a Mac.
I agree.
Conor is really good.
I think he beats him in the rematch.
He gets tired, he does something, but you should. Yeah. You have that high output. You're that first round kind of fighter that storms a guy. Well, if you try to win by KO, you're not going to win a decision. You make one of those choices before you get in there that night. If you try to win by decision, you're not going to finish the guy. So yeah, he's got some weaknesses like that, but he is really a talented fighter. He really is.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite. I think the sport needs him. We need him to win.
Sure.
They really do. That new company that bought the UFC needs Conor to win. We need guys like that.